I am not anti-plant-based. As a matter of fact, I have done videos, and I honestly think that even the ketogenic diet works well for people that are plant-based. But the Game Changers documentary does everybody a disservice. It does, of course, the ketogenic diet community a disservice. It does omnivores a disservice. But quite frankly, most of all, it even does the plant-based community a disservice because it's using false information, creating false hype, and it's actually throwing you under the bus and you don't even realize it. So I'm going to poke holes in this documentary, and I understand where they were coming from. I get it, but one thing is very, very crystal clear. This documentary was not arguing that a plant-based diet is healthy. It was arguing that a plant-based diet can work well for performance and for building muscle. And there isn't any denying that. It absolutely can. But does it mean that other styles of eating are bad? I hate whenever there's this alienation or demonization of anything. And why do we have to go there? So let's poke some holes in this and let's talk about what's going on. But first, please do hit that red subscribe button, hit that little bell icon so you can turn on notifications. Let's dive in and have some fun with this. All right, so first off, it talks about these strongman powerlifters, Ken Ferris and Ben Babomian. Okay, so these are two guys that are pretty interesting. Ben, for instance, is obese. He's a strongman, but he's obese. And honestly, I would hurt saying that, but the reality is I was obese before, and when I was obese, I was really strong too. Okay, so the point is not to throw him under the bus and make fun of his body composition. The point is that when you eat a lot of carbs, like he's suggesting, you create a lot of insulin. And yes, of course, you will create muscle when you have insulin. And yes, of course, you will also create fat when you have insulin. So what am I getting at here? Yes, if you switch to a plant-based diet and you eat a smorgasbord of carbs, there is a very good chance that you can build muscle and you can also build fat. Yes, you can get your protein from carb sources. Yes, you can get your protein from plant sources. I am the first to say that that can absolutely be done, and I've done videos on it. But does that mean that it's the healthiest way? Okay, you look at people like Michael Phelps, for instance. Michael Phelps obviously isn't vegan, but he goes and he swims a lot and he works out a lot and he is proud of his diet being Twinkies and pizza. Does that mean it's healthy? Come on, everyone in their right mind knows that pizza and Twinkies are not healthy, but Michael Phelps has a six-pack and has a pretty lean, sinewy body. Okay, I rest my case on this one. That one's simple and silly. The next one I have to talk about is explosiveness. Okay, that explosive power you need as an athlete. So this video takes a look at Morgan Mitchell and Dotsie Bausch. Okay, these are track athletes, these are explosive athletes that need quick, explosive bursts of power. So yes, they say in this video, I would not be able to do what I do without carbs for that explosive power. Yeah, that's right. It's basic physiology. It's not arguing that a plant-based diet is better in this case. It's not throwing keto under the bus. It's basic human physiology and biology. Glycolysis. When you use carbohydrates for energy, it is a faster process of creating explosive energy. Okay, but you're not utilizing the mitochondria. So yeah, you might get more explosive power, but you lack all the benefits that you would get from a ketogenic diet when it comes down to stamina, when it comes down to endurance, when it comes down to sustainability, and let's not forget, heaven forbid, longevity and actual health, right? Okay, so what I am ultimately getting at here is that, yes, even high-end clients that I've worked with and military and special forces and athletes, if I have them on a ketogenic diet, I will strategically implement carbs when they need maximal anaerobic explosive performance because we cannot deny physiology that we need carbohydrates when we have fast explosive energy, at least for that quick point in time. No one's denying that. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's move into another thing. They use these terrible comparisons of high carb versus meat. Like, they're trying to throw keto under the bus when they're doing this by saying like meat's bad and carbs are better. But what's really funny is Bryant Jennings, okay, this is the one reference that they use where he went plant-based and all of a sudden his performance felt better and he felt healthier and he got healthier. Well, in the video, in the movie himself, he talks about how before going plant-based, he didn't even know what a lot of vegetables were. He didn't even know asparagus existed 5 years ago, and he says that. And when you look at his older diet, he talks about how he lived off of KFC. So yes, of course, if you go from KFC to eating something healthier, okay, operative suffix there, healthier, you're going to feel better and you're going to get healthier. Okay, there's no denying that. Okay, then the next study, they start looking at football players, okay, and they're saying like football players that consumed carbs versus meat performed better, blah, 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 blah. They had better lipid profiles. Well, did you actually look at the study? They didn't compare people that were on a ketogenic diet eating healthy meat and healthy fats to people eating healthy carbohydrates or plant-based carbohydrates. No, they compared people eating a beef burrito to a bean burrito. Okay, well, what's the lesser of two evils there? I don't know. You're comparing these terrible things. Okay, so what do we have here? We have beef, probably low-quality garbage beef, to boot, wrapped in a high glycemic flour tortilla, and then you have beans wrapped in a high glycemic flour tortilla. So you have fat from the red meat, and then you have, of course, high glycemic carbs. That is a terrible recipe for disaster. That is the standard American diet right there, when you're combining fats and carbs, and that is the problem. So, of course, when you look at a lipid profile after that, it's going to look bad. But here's what's hilarious. They measured their lipids 2 hours after they ate. Okay, anyone that has ever gone to the doctor before and their doctor has told them that they need to get blood work done, you will know that your doctor says, please come into the office fasted so we can take your blood, so that we can get an accurate lipid panel. They don't tell you to come in 2 hours after you ate a freaking bean burrito or a beef burrito. Okay, why on earth would they even include this? Because they want to favor it with what their agenda is. Then they look at the effects of eating a burger. We're not talking about going and getting a grass-fed burger wrapped in beautiful butter lettuce. We're talking about a burger that has a high glycemic refined starch bun on it. Okay, and they're saying that yes, that causes all these performance issues and that causes people to be unhealthy. And then later on they suggest that said burger, the same burger, is going to trigger inflammation and that it's going to be really unhealthy. Oh my God, okay, so once again, you're combining a high glycemic carbohydrate with a low quality fat. Yes, you're gonna have a problem. I'm so disheartened that people can watch this video and not see that they're just warping this stuff. It's frustrating. Anyhow, I digress. Now, the epidemiological study. They took a look at the lifestyle heart study of 1990. Okay, so let's go back and look at 30-year-old research back when we were in the middle of the low-fat craze, when everything was about low fat. Fats were bad, even healthy fats, even avocado oil, even olive oil. No, it's a fat, don't have it. Okay, all about low fat. So they take a study from that time period, and a study that is completely warped because it's an epidemiological study based on really weird stuff. They had subjects go plant-based, but they also had subjects reduce their stress, and guess what? They also had subjects stop smoking. Okay, I don't know about you, but there's a few variables there. And if you tell someone to switch to a plant-based and stop eating fast food, stop smoking, and reduce their stress and probably quit their job and just sit on a beach, I'm pretty sure they're gonna end up healthier. But which came first, the chicken or the egg? All of the above. You cannot come through and say that the plant-based diet was the reason. Okay, so let's just tell them to smoke 3 packs a day and then tell them to go plant-based and let's see if they're healthy. Now, there was one study in there that I thought was really cool, and I applaud them. I applaud them for including this one study by the International Society of Sports Nutrition. Okay, it was a study that they were trying to say ultimately concludes that the ketogenic diet is bad for building muscle. They were saying that plant-based is better for building muscle and that the ketogenic diet is going to slow you down. Oh my gosh. So there's 2 things going on here. One, they either don't know how to read a study and they completely missed the abstract and the conclusion, which is very easy to find on PubMed and very easy to see, or they're completely manipulating the study. I don't know which is worse, being naive and dumb, or manipulating it and ultimately lying to hundreds of thousands and millions of people. You choose which is worse. Let me read to you and show you the conclusion of the study that they said ultimately made the ketogenic diet look bad. Okay, this is literally what the study says. Results suggest the keto diet might be an alternative approach to decrease fat mass without decreasing lean tissue. It says it right there, that the ketogenic diet is great for burning fat and maintaining your muscle. Okay? Now, some will argue, well, in this movie, they talk about how the plant-based built more muscle. Yes, I will be honest, the plant-based diet built more muscle in an 8-week period. But guess what happens? When you start a ketogenic diet, it takes you about 8 weeks to get keto adapted, to ultimately produce the ketones that are going to have the muscle sparing effect. So you cannot, 100% cannot take a look at data from 8 weeks of starting a keto diet and say that that is conclusive. The first little bit of a keto diet, you might lose muscle. Oh my gosh, does that mean you don't want to do it? No, it means that you stick through it because the magic comes once you're keto adapted. So yeah, if you took someone and made them go keto, and then you took someone and you made them shove a bunch of carbs in their face, yeah, the person eating a bunch of carbs is probably going to build more muscle at that point in time. But let's take a look at the long haul, right? Because that's where the benefits are going to come in. Oh, there's one other really cool thing, and I can't forget this, right? The best part of this study was the control within the study was not plant-based, it was omnivorous. It wasn't even looking at plant-based. That's criminal. You can't do that. Okay, so you can't be arguing a plant-based diet and then use a study that was looking at omnivores eating meat and carbs and comparing them to keto. So guess what? Plant-based didn't actually build more muscle in 8 weeks. Omnivores built more muscle in 8 weeks. And anyone that really knows sports and nutrition knows that, yes, in the beginning, you can build a little bit more muscle by combining carbs and protein because you spike your insulin with the carbohydrates and the protein goes into the muscle. But over time, the ketogenic diet preserves more muscle. Whatever. I want to end this video on something really funny though, because I could go on forever and ever, but I'm not just going to drive up watch time and try to waste your time. I want to get this to the point because this is important stuff that I just want out there. So let me end with this. I'm going to bring up an image from the end of the video, the end of this movie. And you tell me in the comment section below if this makes sense and if this seems healthy. A lot of pizza, pasta, and burgers, sometimes at the same time. All right, I'll just leave that for you. I'll see you in the next video.